Hello, I'm Gabriel Beavers, bassoonist with the Beach Symphony. Today I'd like to introduce you to the practice of double tonguing on the bassoon. As bassoon players, we're often called upon to play rapidly articulated passages, often strings of 16th notes, either on a repeated note or scalar passages. And at times, the passages can be marked at such a fast tempo that our single tongue is not fast enough. The single tongue is the practice of interrupting the airstream by placing the tongue on the reed on every articulated note, giving the sound of a newly articulated note. Double tongue works a little differently. In double tonguing, we alternate with a single tongue on the reed, and every other note is produced by a hard consonant sound inside the mouth that interrupts the airstream, usually against the roof of the mouth, with our tongue. That gives us a little faster facility and helps us to relax our single tongue muscles because they don't have to hit the reed as often. Double tonguing can be quite valuable if your double tonguing is slow enough that it crosses several tempos into your single tonguing, and your single tonguing's fast enough that it crosses several tempos into your double tonguing. Well, what do I mean by that? I know that I can single tongue pretty well on a repeated note, for example, at 128 beats per minute. And I can single tongue 16th notes pretty reliably. And then eventually I start to get a little tired, but that's pretty reliable for me. And if it's one or two measures at a time, I can cross into the 130s on my single tongue. Well, I've worked hard to have my double tongue work pretty well in the low 130s. So my double tonguing technique lines up pretty well with my single tonguing technique. And pretty instinctively in the moment, I can switch from one to the other if it needs to be, depending on the repertoire I'm playing. I've tried several ways of producing a double tongue, and the way that has resonated the most with me is the practice of saying the syllables T, ki. Other people use do, gu, da, ga, ta, ga. There's so many different ways to do it. You have to find what works for you. For me, tiki brings the tongue high enough in the mouth that it helps me to tune the tenor register of the bassoon when I need to rapidly tongue there without going overly flat, which is a concern when double tonguing. I teach my students to learn using tiki by first playing slow quarter notes, let's say quarter equal 100, on the T syllable. Now, so far we haven't done any double tonguing. I'm just trying to get in my ear what a good single tongue staccato sounds like. Before I start playing a bunch of double tongue notes, I'm going to try to say the word ki. Well, not say it, but I'm going to actually use the syllable ki and articulate with the hard consonant inside my mouth rather than with the tip of the tongue on the same quarter note pattern. And I'm trying to give hard enough blasts of air from my abdomen and force it through the consonant K that it sounds similar to the T. Eventually, I'll let my students go to saying T, ki, T, ki. After that, after a while, they progress to ki, T, ki, T. And only after mastering all that would I encourage them to actually give 4 16th notes in a row. I might have them go T, 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 tiki tiki T, 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 or key, 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 kitty kitty key. And then vice versa, the key T. And today my kitty is a little uneven. I'm going to speed that up through the metronome till I get to, and this is over months at a time, by the way, till I get to right around 133, where my single tongue starts to become unreliable. That was T, 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 tiki tiki T. Now I'm going to go key, T, key, kitty kitty key. And eventually I'll work my way up at the same tempo to doing 16th notes on every beat. And that's all double tonguing. If I can have my double and single tongue meet up right around there, then I have the tools I need to go faster. Double tonguing actually becomes more even sounding at the faster tempos. Matter of fact, a lot of young players really will rip out really fast double tongue passages when they first start double tonguing and get really excited about it, but it's often not practical for use in an ensemble because we don't play things at 180 necessarily. So the key is to get it sounding really even right around that tempo, and then when you speed it up, it gets even better and better. With single tonguing, the faster you can get it, the easier you're going to have this transition in between. This has been just a very elementary introduction to double tonguing. I encourage you to read more by authors such as Mark Popkin and his Bassoon reed making book, where he talks about using the word ticket, The Art of Wind Playing by Arthur Weisberg, and many more. If you check the IDRS journals on the International Double Reed Society website and my own website at gabrielbeavers.com, there's a lecture note document from when I gave a little talk on this at the International Double Reed Society conference in 2017. I hope this has gotten you excited about double tonguing and you'll look into it more, and I look forward to playing for you again soon.